Chair, is the motion be agreed to? And I call the member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and it's a great privilege to be able to get up and speak directly about the importance of Australian food manufacturing and exports in the beverage and grocery industry, which provide a critical part of the Australian economy. They always have, they always will, and may they continue to do so, because these days there's a lot of disconnect between how nations create wealth and where jobs and economic opportunity comes from. It's primary industries that provide the wealth and opportunity to grow manufacturing businesses that also provide jobs and opportunity, which then go on to provide the service-based industries to support them. And so particularly agriculture as part of a supply chain for delivering food and goods and services to the world has always been critical to Australia's success, particularly as a nation that cannot consume everything it produces, but in addition to that provides us with the export opportunities to make us a more prosperous nation and provide the security and opportunity, particularly food security, for the world. So it's an incredibly important industry, and one which is very dear to my heart as part of my general interest in terms of Australia's trade opportunities, because exports sit at the heart of how Australia will continue to engage with the rest of the world and grow the opportunities, the economic opportunities of the 21st century. And the strength that Australia has is that it is a clean, green environment to enable quality goods to be produced that are going to be consumed increasingly in parts of Southeast Asia and North Asia, and to feed the growing middle class in those regions. And that's something we should be enormously proud of, and touches on so many different job opportunities, particularly in a sector where we're incredibly innovative as a nation. Just outside of my electorate, there's a business called Rollspack. Rollspack is a company that invests in packaging arrangements, particularly for processed foods that then go on to be exported throughout the world. And they own the technology in particular to create square, flat-bottom packs so that products can stand up in supermarket shelves. They're the only ones that have that technology in Australia. But of course, they can't utilise or use the advantages of that technology and the investment that it creates and the jobs that it provides if you don't have the produce to go in it. And so having a vibrant and successful food, beverage and grocery industry is critical, obviously, to meet local domestic needs, but also to meet the needs of a growing middle class in the parts of Southeast Asia and North Asia. And it goes across the board, where it doesn't matter what product you're seeking to provide these days, there are export opportunities for Australians and Australian industry to shine. We're able to leverage the potential we have around quality and making sure that we provide goods that people want to buy at the price they're able to do so. We know full well there are some sectors where it's very difficult for us to compete on scale. It's difficult for us to compete on scale because of higher energy costs, rising energy costs, and something the Turnbull government is very committed to tackling, but also around labour costs and also around skills. We have to take advantage of our natural assets to provide the industries of the future that will always be in demand but provide sustainable jobs. And that's where the agriculture sector, delivered through supply chains through to exportable products, is so critical. And we know full well the huge economic benefit that comes directly from the growth in these sectors. The exports alone are worth $32.6 billion. The food and beverage sector contributes $26.4 billion as part of that. The grocery manufacturing, $4.6 billion, and fresh produce is $1.6 billion. So at each stage, the sector provides the opportunities for new investors and new incentives for people to invest to build jobs growth, but also to provide products and goods and services in demand. One of the great myths that permeates modern Australian economic discussion is particularly around manufacturing being in decline. Now, there are certainly some manufacturing industries which traditionally operate in Australia that no longer operate, but where we have our economic advantage and economic potential, manufacturing still remains very strong. And we have a lot of that surrounding the Goldstein electorate, particularly around Moorabbin and Braeside, as well as down the southeast corridor towards Frankston. And where there are businesses that provide and take advantage of Australia's natural wealth and natural potential, you find viable industry that can meet global need. In fact, one of the, I only discovered it recently, Deputy Speaker, I concede, and I can understand why they keep it secret. Most of Victoria's wine is bottled in the Goldstein electorate in a factory in Sandringham. That stunned and amazed me, and I think it stunned and amazed a lot of constituents when I told them as well, at least because some of them were thirsty. But the potential that can be provided from this sector into the future is exceptional, and that is why we celebrate them. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.